Alright, so after the concept of wood lot, here's content number 5 is a part 1 of generating tenor with Dynamo using Excel or CSV data. So step number 1, we need to create a point with Excel or CSV data. And then the step number 2, we need to create line using the start point, end point, XYZ coordinate value. And step number 3, we will place created tenor ring family along the line. So in the tenor ring, we are using tenor segment with 2000 millimeter as our length value because tenor ring are connected each other vertically, as have been shown in this print screen. Alright, so for the step number 1, if you are using Excel data or if you are using a CSV data, this will be slightly affect to the Dynamo script, especially when you import your data into the Dynamo. So let's take for the Excel data. So if you are using an Excel data, you need to use this script, use this note, data.import Excel note in order to import your Excel data. In later Dynamo session, in later Dynamo hand-on session, I'm using the CSV data instead of the Excel. Alright, so once after you import your Excel data, and after that, you need to use the list.getItem at index because in your Excel data, this will be include 3 column, a column A for the X, column B for the Y, and column C for the Z coordinate Y. So that's the reason you need to use the list.getItem at index node in order to extract the information, what information are for X coordinate, what information are for Y coordinate, what information are for the Z coordinate, and after that you can use the point.by coordinate node. And then if you are using an Excel data, when you are import your Excel sheet, then in the sheet name, so you need to manually type your Excel sheet name in my Excel. I'm using the testing, so this keyword need to manually type in the Dynamo at the string node. Then the Dynamo will use this keyword to extract your Excel data into the Dynamo. So in this slide is especially for the if you are using a CSV file, CSV data into the Dynamo. So for the CSV user, you need to use the data.import CSV node. Alright, so after you import the CSV file, then after that you also need to specify which information are for the X coordinate, which information are for the Y coordinate, which information are for the Z coordinate by using the list.getItem at index node. And after that, you can create a point.by coordinate. So whether you are using Excel or data, as long as you are using, you have import the correct information into the Dynamo, in the end result, you will get this coordinate point in the Dynamo. Alright, so after we have created XYZ coordinate point in the Dynamo, and so here is step number 2, we need to create a line using start point, end point, XYZ coordinate point value. Alright, so this slide is especially for the Excel user, Excel data user. So once after you have created point using the Excel data, so you need to create a line by using the line.by start point, end point node, and after that you need to use the list drop ident to get a first and end point, and after that we need to create a polygraph because Dynamo cannot place the structure framing family along the line, so that's the reason we need to create polygraph in the Dynamo. And after that, this slide is showing the script if you are using the CSV data. Let's say if you are using the CSV data, but you don't want to create a line for every single point, but you only want to create a line from point number 2, from point number 1 to the point number 200. So that's a reason we need to use the list.get item at index node in order to get the exact amount of point that we want to use in our Dynamo. And after that, here is a script. So you also have to use the line dot by start point endpoint node, and then you also need to use a list drop item node. Then after that, we will get a start point endpoint value, and then we also need to create a polycarf by using the polycarf dot by join carve node in the Dynamo. So whether you are using Excel or CSV, after that you will get the end result as like this print screen. So after we have created a polycarf in the Dynamo, so here's the step number 3. We need to create a structure. We are going to place our recreated structure framing family along the polycarf line. So in this case, I just want to advise you that when we are selecting the structure framing type node, we are using the default structure framing family, something like that, UB305 or something, whatever you like. So we are using this structure framing type in order to place automatically along the tenet curve, along the polycarf. So we are going to use that one because our pre-created tenet segment range is exactly 2 meters. So sometimes this can be an error when you run the Dynamo. Okay, so for the CSV user, also will be the same script. Then we are also using the same method to run the Dynamo. Alright, whether you are using the Excel or CSV data, at the end, you will create a structure framing automatically in a Revit based on the polycarf line. So later in the Dynamo handle session, I have explained very detailed, so how to replace the family once after we have created with Dynamo into the Revit. Alright.